Rick Nielsen from Cheap Trick. It's a pleasure to talk to you again at noise11.com, and looking forward to seeing you back in Australia for another round, Rick.
Thank you, Paul.
How many times have you been down here?
I should go back and look, but I think about 10 times.
Pretty sure I've seen a good chunk of those then.
Yeah, we always have a good time there.
It's going to be great to get you down here and doing all of the songs. In fact, I've been going through the most popular songs that you have performed. Do you know the song you performed most in Cheap Trick over the years?
Probably I Want You to Want Me.
Correct. Ding.
Surrender.
Wow.
If You Want My Love.
Oh no, that's not even in the top 10.
Really? But
yeah.
we had a hit there with that.
Yeah. So in terms of the number of songs that you have played live, I Want You to Want Me, Surrender, Dream Police.
Dream Police.
Yep. Good Night and Hello There, of course. Shame, Ain't That a Shame, California Man, Big Eyes, and I Know What I Want. That's your top 10.
Well, I guess we'll come down there and play the top 11.
Yeah. The last time we talked, we sort of ran out of time just as we were about to start talking about The Move. And the Move are one of those, I guess, bookend bands for you, because right back in the early days, there was a Move song, wasn't there, with California Man that we just mentioned there. And then more recently, Blackberry Way. So what is it about The Move that appeals to you as a musician?
Really good songs, really well put together. And they're like an English band they're believable, even the songs that aren't believable. Blackberry Way, what do I know about that? But it's like, it's just done so well. And Do Ya, and with Jeff Lynne. I knew Jeff Lynne when he was in the Idol Race, which was before that. And then he's gone on to do such other things. And Roy Wood, yeah, you know what Roy Wood's daughter's name is?
No.
Holly.
Hollywood.
Yeah. Oh, we got a Joan Jett shirt.
Yeah, Joan Jett. There we go.
All right. Joan was one of the first well-known or sort of well-known artists that wore Cheap Trick shirts.
Is that right?
It is right.
Wow.
I'm good friends with her for a long time.
Yeah, talking about The Move, there was obviously a connection between The Move and the Beatles. You've done Beatles, of course. One of my favorite Cheap Trick Beatles covers was on here when you did Day Tripper.
Yeah, and I was just, Dax and I were just in England, and we did some video, which should be a part in a movie coming up. We did it at Abbey Road Studios.
Mm-hmm.
How about that?
And what's the movie about?
I really shouldn't tell you, but is this going to be aired?
It is.
Oh, okay. The Trailer Park Boys?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got asked by Bubbles or Mike Smith if we would be involved in their newest movie. And we're at the end of the movie, probably the best parts, although I'm not a very good actor, but yeah, it was Ronnie Wood was there, and Billy Bob Thornton was there, Eric Burden was there, we were there.
That would have been a great room to walk around and just have conversation.
Yeah, it was fun. And plus, it was they built out the whole of Abbey Road Studios. So you got to wander around there.
You've got all these connections, like if you've just been at Abbey Road, and we can go back to your very first album that was produced by Jack Douglas, who also did Double Fantasy, and you were part of the Double Fantasy sessions.
Yeah.
And you covered the Beatles on your records over the years. I mean, it's all intertwined with you. And
we try to be good, and we try to be surrounded with good music. And that was one of the reasons why it was with Roy Wood and The Move.
Mm-hmm.
It was good stuff. And it was like, The Move to me was like a material as opposed to lots of other bands. Maybe they weren't hits here in the U.S. or whatever, but it was hits to me. And it's like it should have been a hit. Or was, we did a version of Rock and Roll Tonight.
Oh, of course.
Oh, of course.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll work it out when I thought of it.
Yeah, but that connections that we were talking about goes back to your very first Cheap Trick album produced by Jack Douglas. At what point in Jack's career was he when he was producing that first Cheap Trick album?
Well, he'd already done the Aerosmith Toys in the Saddle. He was kind of well known as far as an engineer and a producer in the business more than he was like famous for this or that. Because it was he also did Patti Smith, and he did New York Dolls, and he did Cheap Trick.
So was he the one who brought you in for the John Lennon Double Fantasy?
Yeah, it was Jack called us. He actually called Bunny first, and then he called me. He said the guitars needed more beefing up or whatever. He didn't, because we didn't know the songs before. We didn't know it until we got there. And they said, play along. We played along with an acoustic version of it. And then John played along with us. And I said, well, I think I got an idea for this. And so I came up with that.
Did you know who you were going in to work with?
Yeah. Because we weren't allowed to tell anybody that we were going. And, talk about I'm playing with my son, Dax. That was the day that I worked with John Lennon, was the day that Dax was born. August 12th, 1980. So my wife gave me a hall pass, and so Dax has never forgiven me for that.
Well, I think Dax has done pretty well. He's been performing. He's been playing with Cheap Trick as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, well, he worked with us. He also worked with Brandy Carlisle, and he worked with the King of the Surf, Dick Dale.
Wow.
He worked with Dick Dale for 3 years too.
Wow, that's a legend.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with Dax doing what he's doing, following in your footsteps, but you also followed in your father's footsteps, didn't you? Because your father, Ralph, recorded about 40 albums over the years.
Yeah, he did, but it wasn't my kind of music. It was like, this was religious stuff and solo things. He was a director too. He directed The Messiah. He also did a lot of other, The Mikado. I don't know if you know The Mikado.
Mm-hmm.
He was a lyric opera tenor, and he had a group called the Serenaders, which was 2 tenors, a bass, and a baritone, mm-hmm. and a keyboard player that played with them. And their group, the Serenaders, I used to fly around with them when I wasn't at school. They all over I was in 48 states, Mexico, and Canada by the time I was 14. So I hated school, but I liked music, even though that wasn't my kind of music.
Yeah.
I think he was just happy I had a job. He was surprised.
Well, you've done pretty well for yourself. And Robin's son has also been with the band as well.
Yeah, but he's not touring with us anymore because he's got a solo career he's working on. Yeah, I think he was working on it the whole time he was with us. But it was great. He was a tremendous background singing, and he sings like Robin. He helps the old man out. He helps the young man out too.
You've been on so many great sessions over the years. What was it like working with Glen Campbell?
Oh, that was great. Because he's like one of these greats that you don't. It's not my kind of thing that I do, but it's like working with John Lennon. I'm not a solo or a session man, but I can add my flair to it. I mean, you think of all the people that could have, should have played with John, or I played with Aerosmith. I played with Motley Crue. I played with Gene Simmons. I played with Hall & Oates. Not because I'm this gifted, studio guy, but I have something to offer. And I just played on, and I think it's coming out. It was Mark Knopfler.
Yeah, the new Mark Knopfler album. You're on that.
I'm on that.
Wow.
And I played Jeff Beck's on it. It's like Jeff Beck. I think the opening session on it. It's like, now they want me to play on it. Okay.
Well, and Mark himself is a magnificent guitarist.
Oh yeah, I was just in England, and I went to, there was the Mark Knopfler guitar auction by Christie's, and I'm friends with a bunch of people there, and I went into Christie's the night before and saw the whole thing, and they sold every guitar that he had. I think and like, there were some things that made no sense to me, but they sold every single piece.
Why did he get rid of his guitars?
He heard I was coming to England.
And the checkbook.
I have no idea.
Did you buy any?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. And the prices were sky high too.
I would imagine your guitars would go for a nice penny as well. Have
well,
you
now
sold yours?
Now I'm thinking about doing it after that. It's actually, I know the main guy at Christie's for the guitars. He came to our show at Wembley, I think it was, and he brought Phil Manzanera from Roxy Music, brought him to the show, and I forgot that he was there, but and I told him, he said, we're talking about stuff. I said, I've got a picture of Phil Manzanera playing my 5-neck guitar. I said, it's hilarious. He said, send that to me. Phil's great enough on his own. He didn't need a 5-neck, but I made him put it on.
Illinois has Cheap Trick Day on April 1st. I've always wondered, why did they decide it was April Fool's Day for a Cheap Trick Day? Is it, Cheap Trick and April Fool, is that meant to go together?
Well, let's put it this way. When I was asked, I said, we want to have a day. I said, well, let's see, my birthday's December 22nd. Nah, that's too close to Christmas. And nobody knows what it means anyhow. And I thought, April Fool's Day, either people will think it's real or they'll think it's a joke. And I said, let's put it that way. Or Halloween was one of the other choices, And I said, well, April 1st, people, Cheap Trick is kind of like, is it real or is it, made up or whatever? So I thought that would be perfect. People either think it's real or they think it's kind of, oh, yeah, right, for sure. And so I had them put it at April 1st day.
Yeah. I will put in my calendar for 2024. I will play Cheap Trick all day long.
Well, that'll drive anybody crazy.
Well, we'll be seeing you down here for the Red Hot Summer Tour. You and SUZI QUATRO, John Stevens, the Angels. The Angels are a great Australian band. You would know them very well.
Yeah, I love them.
Yeah. Screaming Jets. It's going to be a fantastic tour to get you down here again. And we look forward to seeing you when you arrive in a few weeks. So, Rick, thanks for joining us here.
I can talk to you not on just a screen like this.
That's right. We can have a beverage backstage.
Or two.